since Blue Origin is gearing up right now to consistently launch people into space, like, how do you get around that?
If
That's
they
just more
manage to
people
go
that.
into space, it would be the biggest shock in flat Earth for many years.
What was the first part of that?
So if you happen to go into a place that violates the second law of thermodynamics, then it would be the biggest shock in flat Earth
Not a
history.
violation.
It,
Not a
but
violation
it
the
does.
slightest. But carry on.
No,
I'm
yeah, I
just
mean,
saying. I'm
it,
just
it
saying
absolutely
it
doesn't
would be the
violate
biggest
that.
shock in flat Earth history if you managed to break the second law of thermodynamics.
It's not
It's
breaking
not
the
broken.
second law.
No, because
It's
you're
not
saying that.
breaking it, man.
Did you say that someone's going into space?
Yeah,
What
plenty of people
I'm
have been in
saying,
space.
yeah, there's been, I think, up to 600 people at this point, maybe 550, somewhere around there. But I mean, you are aware that Jeff Bezos, his cousin, and a few passengers that I'm not allowed to disclose are being launched into space here in what the hell's the date? 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Like I said, if they,
richest man on the planet,
yeah. I mean, if like I
richest
say,
man on the planet just gets launched into space. I mean,
mm-hmm.
along with some celebrities, which I'm not at liberty to disclose the name of.
Oh,
Um,
of course, of course, yeah.
well, you'll no, it ain't, of course,
No, of course, you got to
because
keep those things a secret. That's obvious.
I'm not gonna dox somebody, man.
Exactly. Let's keep the names.
But you're gonna know exactly who they are the day we launch that thing.
I'm sure we will. And like I said, if Jeff, you say Bezos, if he's able to
Yeah, Jeff.
defy physics, then yeah, it would be
Defy physics.
it would be a day
He's
that
not defying.
it would be a day that flat earthers remember for sure.
Yeah, so again, this is where your inability to understand does not make it so.
I'm just saying, if they're able
Yeah,
to
like,
violate the second law of thermodynamics, then yes,
It's
the
not a
whole flat
violation.
Earth world will be rocked. Of course.
Not a violation.
Now, we don't
well,
expect
yeah, I mean,
them to break the second law of thermodynamics because we know you cannot have gas pressure without a container. You cannot have a vacuum without a container.
but there,
You see?
but there is. Okay, so that has. First of all, it's not even close what the second law of thermodynamics is.
Yeah, so second of all, space isn't a perfect vacuum. It's just another
Yeah,
thing
that
of a
too.
pressure gradient. Right? We know pressure gradients exist, right? We know that there's particles in space, therefore it's not a vacuum.
No,
Not a true vacuum, right? There's still slight pressure to space. So we know that just that by there being a pressure gradient, eventually it's going to get so low that it's going to match the pressure of space, right?
10
So
to
I'm
the
not sure.
negative
I'm not sure.
17 4.
Yeah, I'm not sure where your violation is there.
I mean, I've taken four thermodynamics classes between undergrad and grad school, and I mean, I can't think of a violation of thermodynamics.
Nope.
Okay.
Not to mention, back to my original point.
Let's say we have a cup of tea.
Mm-hmm.
Now we know that cup of tea will not increase its heat, without a force being injected or included, right?
Well, a force isn't really the term I would use, but sure, go ahead. It'd be more like the application of energy,
It will go from hot to cold, right?
application of thermal energy. But okay,
From hot to
Yeah.
cold, yeah?
We're gonna sprinkle some calcium chloride in there.
Got some high
Heat it
to
up.
low, yeah? So if your rockets are able to
hey,
violate that in a couple of weeks.
so like so chemo. I'm sure you've seen at this point Blue Origin's. Like they strapped a camera inside of the last capsule, it taking off, going to the Kármán line, very clearly recording the curvature of the Earth and then re-landing.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you explain that?
What, a rocket going up and then coming back down? No, that happened.
I don't think you can.
So what they'll do,
we
What's
can
up?
watch. We can
Area
watch
50,
SpaceX's fucking
Area
rockets with our
85, what they'll do
fucking
is they'll
binoculars, dude.
send your rocket
But
up,
apparently those are all faked.
and then they'll cut the camera
Yeah.
because the rocket has to come back down.
I think it's
Yeah,
because
they're all-
the flat earthers just don't want to go out there to fucking was it a southern Texas to watch the fucking rocket launches. I've watched a couple of them, dude. They're fucking beautiful. I saw the
Are you talking about the new? You're talking about the new Shepard launches?
yeah, the ones where they were belly flopping, like those big ass fucking those super carrier ones or whatever they were called.
Are you talking about SpaceX?
Yeah, I was talking about SpaceX.
Dude, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's been a long fucking week. I'm
No,
sorry.
that's all good, dude. Yeah, I've seen them. Why can't flat earthers come out and see the same thing?
I mean, I only could. Like, I could. Like, I mean,
Don't have to
I
worry
worked.
about
I
video.
worked at. Huh?
Don't have to worry. I said don't have to worry about video cutout feeds when you can see it with your naked eye. Fucking thing
Yeah,
doing belly
pretty
flop
much.
and then fucking landing on itself.
My white work. No.
4 new Shepard launches.
Ah, there we go.
And-
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Ah, I was there talking away and. But yeah, I mean, in terms of space, we know space is a made-up place, and obviously,
No,
No, you think it's a
no,
made up
not.
place. You think space is a made up place.
well,
That's the
obvious-
difference.
Yeah, that's,
Obviously, we know space is not a place you can visit.
I mean, I've built vehicles that have gone there.
No, they
So
stay. They
what-
stay within the atmosphere. Area 55. Sorry. As long as they,
But-
You're right.
as long as they're within the
What do you-
atmosphere, then they can maneuver around.
What are you defining as atmosphere?
Where you can breathe. Air.
Okay.
Oh, so all you're really
Okay,
gonna
so-
get all you're really gonna get up there is mostly helium and some other gases you're not gonna really live off of. So I'm not sure
So
what
the
your point
top of
is.
so the top of Mount Everest is doesn't have atmosphere around it
Yeah, of course.
because you can't breathe. Well, you can't breathe up there.
Of course you can.
No, you can't. That's why the climbers
Yes,
carry
you can.
oxygen equipment.
You're ill-informed.
Yeah.
I'm not in. I'm
Hi-
not
hikers-
ill-informed.
Hikers do have to take those oxygen things because the air is so thin. Oxygen
Yeah,
is
but
Yeah.
not all the time. You can breathe up that area 85.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
you're gonna have
about
a hard
maybe.
time doing it.
For how long?
About an hour or
2
two,
or
I
3
think.
About a couple of hours.
I
then what?
actually think it's a lot less than that. I think it's like 5 to 10 minutes at
And
the
then the,
peak of Mount
5 to-
Everest, and you're dead.
5 to 10 minutes, top of Mount Everest. You're gonna pass out and die because of why?
Lack of
the-
oxygen.
No
Yeah,
For
oxygen.
the
lack of
yeah?
rarefied atmosphere.
Oh, lack of, or just the having oxygen rates that are too low to sustain your body.
So you won't be able to breathe at the top of Mount Everest.
Right.
Not sustainably.
Why do you believe these stories, guys?
Well, because
people do it.
go ahead.
Well, I'm
Yeah,
asking, why do you
dude.
just blindly believe these wild,
I'm not
outrageous
blindly-
stories?
I'm not blindingly believing that.
You're not blindly believing.
I know.
I've been
No,
to the top
no,
of
no,
mountains,
no,
dude,
no,
where the
no.
air is
No,
thin.
no,
dude.
Everest. We're
Like,
talking about Everest. He's saying that.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not-
No, I don't care about Everest.
Okay,
dude.
so-
I'm saying from my own personal experience,
Everest
right?
is
Being
the highest mountain, dude.
Yeah, so I'm getting to that, right? So, dude, like I've been hiking all over New Mexico in
Uh-huh.
mountains that are probably the third of the height of Mount Everest, if
Right.
that, right?
Okay.
And way at the top of them, the air is really thin and hard to hike around, and I can only imagine
Oh
a
my
mountain
gosh.
that's like 5 times higher than that.
Oh my goodness me. So you couldn't breathe at 29,000 feet?
Yeah, it's hard, dude.
Whoa, terrible. So what about if we went higher and stayed longer? What about that?
Definitely die.
Definitely die. What about you, Area 85? If we went higher than Everest and was in there longer, what would happen?
If you didn't have any kind of breathing equipment, yeah,
Mhm.
you'd die.
After how long?
It depends on how high you up.
I said
how
higher than
high up you
higher
are.
than Everest.
Okay, I'll tell the story I was trying to tell earlier.
Well, hold on.
So-
Just tell me before you tell the story. How long would you survive higher than Everest without any oxygen?
how
without
much
any
higher
oxygen,
than
you'd
how
probably
much
survive a
higher
couple
than
minutes
You
Everest?
just
before you
said
die.
No
so
oxygen
29.
for 3 minutes.
Let's say 35,000 feet. Then what?
Feet. You've got about three. By my understanding, you've got about 3.5 minutes before you suffer from hypoxia and go unconscious.
Mm-hmm. And then you pass out and then die. You can't breathe.
Eventually, yes.
Again, why do you believe these wild stories?
Because I've experienced it.
Oh,
I know it's real because I've personally experienced it.
Oh, wow, that sounds interesting.
Yeah.
So what happened when you was up there?
Yeah, man.
Did you pass out?
That's the story I was trying to tell you earlier. See, I'm a student glider pilot. Okay.
Whoa, even better. Go on.
And I got caught in the thermal one day and got taken. I'm trying to remember. It was like 18, maybe 20,000 feet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I started feeling the effects of hypoxia. You start feeling drunk.
Whoa, dude. You were like totally out of it, right? Again, why do you make up these wild, outrageous, strange stories?
I'm not making up anything, dude. This is my life. I'm not making up my life.
But how high were you?
I was somewhere between 18 and 21,000
drugs.
feet.
What drugs were you taking?
What drugs?
Because you're saying that if you go above Everest, you can't breathe. Where are you getting your information from?
I think he's just trolling you, dude.
Well, you said it too. You said you can't breathe. You said a couple of minutes. You said a couple of minutes and you'll die at the top of Mount Everest because there's no air to breathe, you said.
Yeah, air's very thin. Very hard for people to live.
Tell me more
about it. Dude.
I think it's at like
it's
like 5 psi.
Oh, 5 psi? What, top of Mount Everest?
Let me look at the air pressure at top of Mount Everest. Let's see.
Check it out.
The gradient's pretty linear, right? Because I'm at 4,500 feet right now, and the atmospheric pressure is 12.8 the last time I checked.
What is 253 millimeters of mercury?
That's one conversion I can't do very well in my head.
Let's see.
Here. You Googling it?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out.
5 psi at top of Mount Everest. That's pretty low, man. You would never be able to breathe at 29,000 feet.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I was right. 4.89.
My goodness. So 4.8 at the top of... No, farmers. Hold on. We're gonna marinate in a little bit more. So you're saying that it's 5 psi at 29,000 feet. Yes? Yeah? Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So obviously that would be impossible to breathe. Yes?
Very high.
Right.
But obviously...
Very hard.
Very hard. Oh, now very hard. Not impossible. Make your mind up. Are you trolling a squatting dog?
No.
Can you breathe or can you not breathe?
Depends on your lung capacity and how well of shape you are in.
Aha! You've got the memo. Good man. Area 85. Are you up to date? Not yet. Wait for the memo.
I have.
Wait for the memo. The boys will inform you very shortly. Yeah. Get the memo.
Boys are going to inform me.
Yeah.
Boys are going to inform me of what.
Are you going to tell me about like one stowaway?
Wait for the. There we go. There we go.
Yeah. So what about all the ones that?
I can hear Chief Squatting Dog's voice, like. Oh,
yeah. So what about all the ones that?
Did you mean? Yeah.
So.
It's not 5% anymore, is it? Oh, it's not a couple of minutes anymore, is it? Oh.
No. So the average person. The average.
You cheated, Squatting Dog. So no points for cheating.
Yeah.
Okay,
No, so
you're a cheat.
You're
a cheat.
You
are a cheat. You cheated in the test. You are a cheat.
So
you cheated.
Maybe you're misunderstanding.
There
and
go.
He's having to try to clarify something.
Yeah, so you have like the one stowaway that
cheated
managed
in the
to live
test.
out of how many that have died trying to perform the exact same stunt, and he got lucky because the landing gear he fucking hit up in were pressurized with the cargo.
Yeah.
Oh, so just one person survived.
Oh yeah, like there are very few people actually survive that shit. Most of them die.
How many have survived?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I know a bunch
Did you not
of
get
them
the
died.
memo? I'll wait for you to get the memo.
Yeah.
Get the memo. Is this a Ken?
No, because what it is, the ball earthers in here are helping him to make not to look stupid any more than he already does. You see, so he's getting the memo. So ask your buddies how many survived, and then go back to a squatting dog.
Yes.
Yes. So anyway,
Kino,
Area 51. Did you get the memo or not yet?
Bro, I don't even know I don't even know what in the Kentucky Fried Fuck you're even talking about. What?
So
What?
talk to me
What
about
memo?
talk to me about the atmosphere
Oh,
above Mount
more
Everest.
than so
Hold on,
between
hold on, squatting dog, squatting dog,
between
squatting dog. Hold on
1940
a second. Hold on a second. Area 51. Remind me again about the atmosphere above Everest.
Above Everest or at the peak?
At the peak above, at the peak and above.
What do you want to know about it?
Tell me about the air up there. How it's we can't survive for more than a few minutes, as you said.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
unassisted, the air is too rarefied to survive more than a couple of minutes.
Squatting
That's
dog,
correct.
squatting dog.
I'm reading-
Over to you,
yeah.
squatting dog.
yeah, so I'm reading right here. It says as of February of 2020, since 1947 to February 2020, 128 people around the world attempted to stow away in this manner. More than 75% of them died. This is not surprising. At every stage, imminent death is all but assured. In fact, it even goes on to say how those most of the people that did manage to survive only did so due to proper preparation, with bringing plenty of blankets to survive in those like very low temperature, along with oxygen tanks.
But a kid had an oxygen tank with him.
Yeah, they're not very expensive. They're easy to get a hold of.
Where's the
That's
oxygen?
also why that's also why he had a bunch of blankets with him.
What
Proper preparation.
Where was that kid from?
Let
what
me
country?
look back at where he was from.
What country was that?
I think I know who you're talking
Hold on
about.
a second, area.
yeah.
What country was that? Chief squatting dog.
Let me look back at the articles.
Yeah, have a look back at the article and find out which country.
Was it the kid in the landing gear that, if I remember correctly, or the
what
luggage?
was the country? Where did he go from and to? Get some more information from you, yeah? Being as you cheated.
I'm just curious. Is there an ultimate point to this
Being as you
conversation?
cheated on the test, you're a failure, as I expected. Yes, you were
No.
helped. Okay.
No, that's kind of where I figured you'd try and go, and then I
you
checked
didn't
the
know
chat,
any
and
of that.
sure
You were
enough,
like, it's 5%. Oh yeah, it is 5%. Then one of your boys.
No, I
I don't
said
think anybody
5
said
PSI.
5%.
They informed
I said
you,
5
and then you did
PSI.
the right thing, and then you backtracked, waiting for.
No,
I don't
Area
think
I- the
anybody
only-
said 5%.
Yeah, the only
Waiting for
I
Area
think somebody
58
said
to
5
backtrack
PSI.
also.
There's a big
I
difference.
said 5 PSI, and then I checked, and sure enough, I was pretty close at 4.9
Yeah,
PSI.
Right.
So,
Nobody
damn.
ever brought up percentage there,
Yeah,
Spurs.
so
You
don't
know
be
the difference
don't put
between
words in my mouth, you dishonest fuckwit.
So how many people
Yeah, if
survived?
Chemo has picked this particular subject, it's not going to support your case.
What was the survival rate? How many people survived at that height? Like you
I just said that 75% of them died.
How many
and it
people,
said in the article that most
I
of the-
asked you how many people survived.
Well, we could do 75. We could do 25% of what was it? 168. Let me look back at here.
The total number
Where
of
was
people.
it? 128
That's what
even
I was-
left.
How many
Even
people
less.
survived?
Yeah, so let me figure out.
Get the maths number right. Get it out. Does it work or what?
Yeah,
that would be
It's taking you so long.
you said 100.
Figure it out.
128. Less than 75 or less than 25% of them survived.
How many is that? How many people? And you didn't
Be
get where
about
that boy
30.
flew. Where did that boy fly from? You didn't get that data.
Well, I was trying to, but you're getting me distracted with all this other
Well, no,
shit. so you
focus
gotta-
on where he flew from.
Yeah.
Let
Don't
him focus,
where he
man.
flew from. It doesn't matter.
Yes, that's why I was asking you, 85. But you were telling me about the air is so thin above Everest. Yeah, you can't breathe. You said, yeah.
Why were you asking me about some kid who hit in a pressurized airplane wheel?
I didn't
wheel
ask you
well?
about that. I'm asking you, can you breathe above Mount Everest? You said-
Oh, so let me see. Is this back from 2014, right? That kid?
Where was he from?
Let me see. 16-year-old boy stowed away in the nose wheel
Where from?
compartment of a passenger jet during a flight from California to Hawaii.
Oh, no, not that one. Sorry, you got the wrong flight. Try another one.
Okay, so which one?
Exactly. It wasn't that flight. It was a lot longer than that flight. So try again.
From
What
California
point?
to
Okay,
Hawaii? No,
Yeah,
from
try
California to
again.
Hawaii.
That's a short flight. That's an easy flight. Try a long haul flight.
That's still a 8-hour
what
flight.
point are you trying
Yeah,
to
we've
make
got longer than
here?
8 hours. And height. What was the height of that plane? What was the height of
Timo's
that
cherry
plane?
picking something that'll
Squatting
support
bull.
his
What was
case.
the height of that aeroplane?
Okay.
So let me figure it out.
Okay, so I'm exhausted.
Squatting bull.
I'm
What was
exhausted,
the
so maybe I missed
altitude
it.
of that aeroplane from Hawaii?
Do what?
You said the plane from Hawaii.
35,000 feet.
How much?
35,000 feet. 35,000 feet.
And for 8
Yep.
hours.
Yep.
How did he survive? He said he brought with
Because
him, he brought an oxygen tank with him.
no, so that kid right there, the only reason he survived is because that compartment was pressurized.
Into the wheel well.
Yeah,
How do they do that?
by having a sealed shut lid on the fucking was it the cockpit wheel?
Here's a look.
Don't go
What?
into
Here's a
specifics.
look. Let's have a look
Timo.
at what you mean.
Yeah. No, you're just gonna watch the videos and you're gonna learn. You're just not gonna spout rhetoric. How about that?
Well,
I
why are you
watched the
making
videos,
claims that
I
you can't
learned.
back up?
I can link you the videos and then we can both watch together.
Yeah, I want to see where you're saying that the wheel hub is pressurized. How they did that.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do they pressurize the wheel hub?
It's called engineering, bitch.
Of course.
Yeah, engineering,
Well, let's
dog.
have a look. Let's take a look at this marvelous engineering. Pressurizing the wheel hub. That's the first. What about the
Not really.
Not really.
what
That's
happens to the pressure?
pressurizing the wheel well of
What happens to
pressurizing the nose wheel of airplanes has
Mhm.
been around since the Boeing B-36.
And what about the back
Yeah.
wheels?
The back wheel hung. The B-36 there was no back wheel on the B-36.
So what about the case of him and his brother? One went in the front, one went in the back. Hear about that case?
I'm
Are you
just looking at
talking
the
about
other-
the? Are you talking about the wing?
You
Are you
not,
talking about the wing landing gear?
You're just not sure, are you, Chief Squatting Bull? Which story?
No, I'm not sure which. I'm not sure which story
story
you're
are we
about.
talking about? The one that flew from Africa, from India, from America, from China,
What
from Europe?
point are you trying to make with all this, Spurs?
Which one are you referring to, Chief Spitting Dog?
I think he's trying to. I think the retarded point he's trying to make is that way up there in the atmosphere, right? Obviously, there's oxygen, right? Obviously, pilots during World War II didn't need special masks in order to stay conscious, right?
Well, they did.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
Well, I think you're trying to say that. I think that they're saying that there's goodness sakes, Chief Sitting Bull.
This chief squatting dog.
Well, what he's trying to say is that he thinks that there was air up there because we said there's no air up there, and he's trying to prove us that we're wrong, and it's just awful.
No, so you haven't really been able to. Dude, you're the one who's all piped up on like crack or something
Get your
right
words
now, dude.
out correctly. Now look, you made a wild claim. I said, why do you believe such a wild claim? You said, well, it's not a wild claim. I asked you
What wild claim?
Yeah,
That-
so like
that-
the 75% of the people that die trying to do it, that's weird. If there was air
Yeah.
up there, they wouldn't have died,
pretty
right?
cold up there. Of course you're gonna die.
Yeah, pretty cold.
Pretty cold, yeah.
Very little air.
Not little air. There's lots of air. Proven
That's why
that
they got to
just fine.
pressurize.
No,
That's why they got to pressurize our cabins when we fly, right?
Where was this
I mean,
pressurized
no,
wheel
Spurs.
hub? I haven't posted this pressurized wheel hub. This is the first.
It's part of what's known. Okay, you are. Well, if you would shut up, if you were shut up for a second, you might actually learn something.
Okay.
Spurs.
Okay.
I mean, you know I'm an aerospace engineer, so if you want to know, I can fucking tell you.
Okay.
All right, so the fuselage of commercial jets is pressurized.
Uh huh.
Part of that fuselage, part of that pressurized section, is the wheel well,
Mhm.
and one of the reasons they pressurize that wheel well is because if it was left exposed to the elements.
Low
Yeah,
pressure,
I mean, all
cold
the-
air.
Yeah, I mean your brake lines and your brake shoes, everything would freaking ice up, man, which is obviously not a good thing. So they pressurize that particular compartment.
All right. Show me. So you're saying when the wheel goes up into the hub, they start to pressurize that area.
Yeah.
No, they
I get it. No. Yes. No. Yes. Yes. No.
I'll let him speak.
they
for it.
don't start to pressurize it. That's not when the doors close, the pressurized cabin air is what pressurizes the wheel well.
All right. Can I have a look at that, please? I've never seen that.
What do you want me to
I've never
do?
even heard of that before.
Well, I mean, maybe you should, study aviation. I mean, this information's everywhere, man.
Ask you who's an expert on airplanes to show me how they pressurize the wheel hub.
It literally bleeds through from the cabin, which is pressurized.
I'll take this.
I just said that.
How can we do
it's
that?
got
How are we supposed
orifice.
to do this? How are we supposed to take you guys seriously when you say the most ridiculous things that we've ever heard?
Maybe they're not ridiculous. Maybe you're just not understanding them.
Right,
like, I'm
how do
actually
you
legitimately
pressurize-
trying to explain this to you.
Okay, can you show me a wheel hub being pressurized?
It's not. That's not.
It's
What do you
not
mean being
pressurized.
pressurized?
What? You just said the
They're
wheel hub is
pressure. What do you want me to show you exactly? You want me to show you a
Sitting dog. You just said it was pressurized. Your man was going to explain how it's pressurized. Now you're saying it's not pressurized. What's going on?
No, it is.
Oh, it is pressurized.
It's pressurized, but it's passively pressurized, not actively.
All right, show me where it's passively, partially pressurized.
Why are you feeding
Right.
the troll?
Yeah.
This is unbelievably
Meaning
funny.
that
This is comedy of the morning. First of all, you said there's no air up there. Now there is air up there. Then you would die up there. And then you wouldn't die up there.
for fuck's
Now
sake.
all of a sudden, after all that,
Why are you feeding chemo? the
after
troll?
No,
all of
dumbass,
this,
you're
now they pressurize the wheel hub.
Yeah,
and that is
so-
a first.
on some airplanes, they don't do it on all of them, but yes, on some aircraft, they pressurize the wheel wells.
Can you show me that, please?
What exactly do you want me to show you? I could Google image a wheel,
I
a
wanna see the
fucking
pressure. I wanna see
737
the-
rear well and put it in chat. Not
I wanna
really
see-
going to show you much,
I want to
though.
see the pressure of the hub.
Well, the hub. Now you're talking about the tire pressure.
No, I didn't say
I thought
the
you
wheel.
wanted to see the pressure inside the wheel compartment.
Didn't say that. In the wheel hub, person was sitting. You said there's no
Person
air.
wasn't sitting inside the wheel hub. That means he would have been inside the tire.
I can't take this. I can't do it.
Retard.
You just the guy wasn't inside the
My
wheel
God.
hub. Do you know what a hub is?
I can't do this.
Remember, chemo is technically illiterate. He doesn't know
You
what
just
he's talking
said
about. He's
the
just fucking
person
trolling you,
is
and you're
in
feeding
the
him.
wheel. In the
Chemo,
wheel.
I'm
So glad to hear. So glad
you even
that
know
you're having
what
such
we're-
a good day today, mate.
The stowaways weren't in the wheels, you silly prat. You're just feeding this fucking troll.
They were in the wheel.
Fuck's sake.
They were in the wheel well of the plane. They weren't in the hub, dude. They weren't inside the tire. Is that what you thought this whole time?
Oh
I
my
don't know why
God.
the hell you're
yeah,
laughing.
I was thinking,
You
how on
look-
earth
kinda
did
look
they
like a
manage to get
jackass
inside
right
the
now.
tire?
Yeah, that's not what anybody on this chat was saying. And
Oh,
if
that's-
that is what you thought we were saying,
Mhm.
that's a grotesque misunderstanding on your
Oh,
part,
look,
nobody
we've got
else's.
you here then, right? Because you've just corrected us all. Well done. Thank you very much. All this time we thought they were actually in the wheel.
No, you're in the space around the wheel. You're in the garage bay for the wheel well.
Oh, is that what it is? It's so
Yeah, and when the door see they got doors on the bottom. They got doors that close behind the wheel when it tucks up into the plane. Those doors have what's called gaskets on them,
Mhm.
and that space where the wheel lives
Mhm.
is passively pressurized from cabin pressure through what's called orifices.
Mhm.
I'm sure he
So
knows
when
all
that
that
door
work.
closes,
That's where his fingers spin most of his time.
It'd be quite warm up there, then,
Man.
yeah? Would it be quite warm?
no, it'd be fucking freezing because you're on like a you're laying against the uninsulated piece of sheet aluminum that's probably like 18 gauge thick, like 0.188 millimeters or inches. Sorry.
You say they partially pressurized that area.
No, they just it's just
can't take
pressurized.
this.
It's passively pressurized, not partially
All right,
pressurized.
passively. Let me get the words right. You passively pressurized, and you're saying it's colder.
it's going to be
Timo.
cold where he is, yes, because he's right against the skin of the aircraft.
Yeah, but if you pressurize something, does that increase the temperature?
No.
Only in your world, Chemo.
I mean, technically, yes, but he's still against something. Okay, technically, yes. When you pressurize a fixed volume of air or gas, it will heat up. But you're also forgetting about all the heat that's being lost through the other side of the skin of the door of the wheel well that whoever this poor fucker was laying against. And it's also aluminum, which has one of the highest thermal conductivities of any metal on the planet.
Let me help you a little bit. If it's
I
partially
don't think I need your help.
if it's partially pressurized, you're saying he's breathing that partially pressurized air. Yeah?
As I will state again, some aircraft have pressurized wheel wells. I don't know what specific plane this dude was in. I remember hearing about it, but I didn't vest my life into it enough to memorize what exact model of aircraft he is in. Some of them have pressurized wheel wells, yes, but some of them also don't.
Uh-huh.
Do you
I
know
did
the
say that. I
aeroplane,
think this
Chemo?
is the fourth time I've said that, I think.
And it's the
Do you
first
know
time
the
I say,
aeroplane,
can you
Timo?
show me a pressurized wheel hub? I think you're just making things up to save your nonsense. You're not rather silly now, right?
You do realize that all wheel hubs that have pneumatic tires on them are pressurized, right? Like you have 4 wheel hubs on your car, 5 if you've got a spare. All those are pressurized.
Classic. I hope you haven't listened, everybody. I hope you're listening. The hub.
Well, you
is
should, man. You might learn something.
The hub is
The wheel.
partially
Okay.
pressurized.
You're doing a good performance today, Chemo. Keep it up, mate.
Where did you make that story up?
You know what a hub
talking
is?
to me?
Yeah, who
He
told you
doesn't
that?
know what a
Who
hub
told
is.
you that story about the partially pressurized hub, wheel hub?
Is Chemo and Abo?
I'm not talking. I didn't say partially pressurized wheel hub. What I said was passively pressurized wheel
what does that mean?
well on
I
airplanes.
don't know what that means. What does it mean? Passively pressurized.
There
It
we
mean-
go. Chemo doesn't understand the difference between a wheel hub and an undercarriage bay.
What does it mean?
Yeah.
Passively pressurized. Give me an example of something passively pressurized.
Well, I mean,
I love an airplane.
what was that?
I asked you
That's
at
not the
Area
only thing he doesn't
58.
understand. Wow.
Passively pressurized. Give me another example of
I
something
know.
that is passively pressurized.
He doesn't know what passive means. Not entirely sure he knows what pressurized means either.
How about your
No,
pad
he
now?
doesn't. Have you ever listened to Eskimo's lecture on? He had his thesis
Don't
doctrine
forget
on.
to give me an example
on
of
pressure.
something passively pressurized. While you're talking about me, don't forget to include your example of something passively pressurized. Yeah.
Of something.
I mean, I can think of a few. I'm just trying to think of one that you might actually recognize.
Okay.
What do you want an example of, Chemo?
Of something passively pressurized.
Of something what? Sorry.
Passively
pressurized.
Passively
Like
pressurized. That's a new one. I've never heard that before.
No, that's good. That's better. That's
like
better.
passively versus actively being a volume being pressurized.
I've got no idea what you're
Like
talking
an
about.
active.
Like an active
mean-
pump directly being into it rather
Does
than it
anyone
just
else know what
getting
he's
air
talking
from
about?
another
Can they-
compartment
can
that's
they,
pressurized.
Can they demonstrate
Yes.
what he's talking about? Can anyone
What,
demonstrate
passive
what?
pressurization? Yes.
Yeah, can you demonstrate what not sitting. Area 58 is talking about?
He can explain to you, but he can't demonstrate
How
it,
many
Chemo.
bastards have
He
you
can't
fucking
understand
taken?
it for you.
No, I don't understand your nonsense. I stand over your
This
nonsense.
isn't nonsense. These are like terms that have meanings.
Alright, so I don't
Meaning
understand.
that-
I don't stand under your rubbish. That's right, farmers. So can you explain or demonstrate, actually, have the explanation of this passively pressurized? What is that? Where is that? How do we see it?
Well, you can do that just by utilizing pressure differentials from one area to another. You don't actually. You generally, when you pressurize something, you say, if we're talking aircraft here, they pressurize the system by pumping air into the aircraft. They don't actually do that in these undercarriage bays. I suspect how it's done is probably getting some of the pressure from the next compartment is allowed to leak through. That's a passive system rather than an active system.
Area 58, you were supposed to be getting a demonstration why farmers explained it to us. Not to say yes, I agree with you.
You can't visually show.
That's what I explained to you earlier. You
I
don't remember when I was
he's
talking
repeating,
about...
he's repeating what you said while you go and get the demonstration of passively pressurized. You can't
demonstrate it in the video, Kimo.
Gets a demonstration of something passively pressurized, and farmers will give us the explanation.
I just did.
He just did, and I gave you a very similar explanation about 5 minutes before
we
that.
Just need one more explanation of the same thing while you're waiting.
Why?
While we're waiting for you to get the.
Dude, my AC unit. Yeah, dude, my AC unit blowing in my room right here, and then the fucking air leaking under the door, and then cooling off my fucking living room a little bit, dude. What else do you want?
If somebody doesn't know the meaning of a word, they should Google it and find out what the meaning is first before they ask everyone else.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kimo doesn't work like that, does he? He wants everybody to do his work for him because he's a bitch.
Do you have a demonstration?
We're not your gophers, Kimo.
Do you have a demonstration, Area 58, of passively pressurized? So I can have a look.
Actually, I think you've seen this demonstration before.
Oh,
I believe it was AT2 Productions that started at the bottom of a mountain with a Coke bottle with a balloon stretched over the top of it, and then drove to the top as the balloon filled up.
Okay, temperature difference. So what?
I mean that's an example of passive pressurization.
We're talking about pressure, not temperature difference.
No, that's
Kimo
that's
likes
pressure.
to pretend that it's temperature and not pressure that's responsible.
Do you have a demonstration of what is it? Passive pressure.
I just gave you one.
Well, what's passive about that pressure?
Because you're... Dude, could you just look up the definition look up passive versus active. Scientific definition. Type those words in Google exactly. And then come back and we can talk,
I'd rather
okay?
be able to Google a demonstration and it shows me a demonstration, yeah? Already given the explanation. We've had
Fuck the demonstration. Understand what the terms mean first.
No, I don't stand under those terms unless you can demonstrate.
What the...
Just ignore him, dude. He's a dishonest actor. He's a troll. I can't really tell if he's actually stupid.
I honestly believe he's actively this stupid.
What is that old saying that like you can't tell if somebody's like you can't tell if a smart person is being stupid or like pretending to be stupid or if they're actually stupid?
Poe's law.
Yeah,
Poe's law. That's right.
Poe's law.
Yeah.
So
that's why we call Kimo a Poe.
Well, I mean, you can call me whatever you like.
Kimo doesn't believe that pressure exists.
You can call me
that's
whatever
what
you
this
like,
whole conversation is.
as long as you back that up with the demonstration of your claim. Now, you said there was...
I just gave you two of them.
Demonstration for any of your claims.
Well, that wouldn't be passive pressure, would it? That would be pressure in the crisp packet, right? Because you've got a container.
I just gave you two of them.
How is that passive when it's pressure, not passive?
It's active. Passive pressurization means there is no displacement, there's no mechanical device pressing something up. You're not having to input energy.
Yeah, well, you've got a temperature change. There's your energy.
That's not a temperature change, man.
That is a temperature.
Okay, let me ask. Spurs, let me ask. No, it's not.
Does it get colder? Does it get colder the higher you go?
Spurs, let me ask you this.
Yeah, you've been saying all evening or morning different things, and you failed on every single one of them. First, you said you can't breathe above Everest.
Shut up.
Then we find out you can.
Spurs.
Then you said you can't breathe on an airplane. Then we find out you can. Then you said they pressurize the wheel hub. We find out that they don't.
Spurs, knock it off.
Spurs, knock it off for a second. Give me 30 seconds to say what I'm wanting to say or to ask you this question. I live in the middle of a desert at 4,000 foot altitude. It was 103 degrees outside, and my atmospheric pressure today was 12.73. It was cooler in Houston today, in Houston, Texas, where the altitude's about 75 feet, and the pressure was 14.7.
It
Why?
hit 95 degrees here today.
Where did the
Oh, are
pressure,
you in Houston?
where does the
Yeah.
pressure come from? Area 50.
What?
Where does the pressure come from?
Atmosphere, chemo.
Yes, the atmosphere,
Yeah.
my guy.
See, we have this force. You can call it whatever the hell you want.
Mhm.
But
Ah,
a
it pulls,
container. I got
it
you.
pulls-
Okay, a container.
Oh no, you didn't get me shit. I know exactly where you're going with this, man. You guys aren't smart enough to come up with different tricks.
So you just say we can
So-
call it whatever we want. We call it a container. A firmament.
Oh yeah, the firmament.
Well,
that
yeah,
you
but
can't-
if there was the firmament, if there was a firmament, there wouldn't be a pressure gradient.
You just said call it whatever you want. Where else would we get pressure from without the container?
Yeah, a container being held together by a force pulling things downward.
Where else
Thank
would we get the pressure from 58 without the container?
The acceleration of 9.8 meters per
Yeah.
second per second. That's why we have
Look,
pressure gradients.
spitting
You
dog.
fucking dipshit.
You've already got a task to do, which is show reflected rainbows, right? So
Dude, for you, I'm debating whether even bothering anymore because you're probably just gonna
Yeah.
toss it out the window even if I do it.
yeah, well, stop talking nonsense. Get busy. Get active. Do an experiment. Come back with some
No,
real
so-
science. Yeah.
No, so
Dan,
from how
Stop
disingenuous-
interrupting. Stop
Yeah,
interrupting
from how
58 here.
so with how disingenuous you've been doing, like
Yeah.
I highly doubt that even if I were to get the results that you're looking for, that you would even acknowledge them.
Yeah, I highly doubt that you're going to achieve
No,
it.
he would come up with some shit.
Yeah, he'd probably come out with because I've already done it, right? I just got to get a camera that can actually capture it
Yeah,
now.
let's see it then. Prove it.
Yeah.
Stop talking
Yeah.
nonsense and rubbish and give us your fairy tales. Area
Yeah, stop
58.
talking nonsense. That's chemo.
Yeah,
Stop
if
talking
you-
rubbish and nonsense and let us
What do
see
you
the
want to
dome.
know? I am.
Yeah,
demonstrate
show me the
the
dome.
Area 58 here is
Demonstrate
making
the
claims. Now you focus
I
on your
want to
test.
Demonstrate
I'm not making
I want
claims.
dome.
I want you to stop talking shit until you demonstrate the dome, chemo.
Well, how do you have gas
Same
pressure
standard that you hold everybody else to. I don't want your sophistry. I want your demonstration. Since
Yeah.
you're holding everybody else to that standard, I want you to demonstrate the dome or quit talking about it.
Operation Fishbowl.
Do not mention Operation Fishbowl because you cannot demonstrate Operation Fishbowl.
Operation
Demonstrate Operation Fishbowl. Demonstrate it to me.
Demonstrate fire.
Demonstrate Operation Fishbowl. I want you to
I don't
fire
have
a
a
rocket
nuclear
at the
bomb.
dome and bounce it off of the dome. I want you to film it too.
No, you need to start
Uncut,
trusting your
unedited.
military.
No, I'm not going to trust you or the military.
Trust your
I want a
military.
practical demonstration. I want you to show me the firmament in my backyard.
No, that won't be done like that. No.
Well, then, I mean, I'm sorry, but that's my standard of evidence now.
Got
Because
mental
that's what I've
issues.
learned from you and Demo.
Got mental issues.
You're right. Yeah, I listen to you and Demo. So obviously, the standard of evidence is it has to be demonstrated to your satisfaction right in front of you for it to count as evidence. So I'm using your same standard of evidence for the flat Earth. I want you to demonstrate the firmament to me, or quit talking about it.
Operation Fishbowl demonstration.
Operation Fishbowl is not a
well, hold on,
demonstration.
timeout. Yeah, so timeout. What about Operation Fishbowl?
They fired rockets at the
Proves the
firmament.
dome.
They fired rockets at the firmament.
No, they fired rockets into the air.
He's only got bits of paper, so all he's doing is telling us of his religion of Operation Fishbowl, as he has no actual evidence that it ever happened.
Right,
And would
yeah,
like
he's
to provide some actual evidence, chemo, and not this religious stuff written down on paper, because evidently we can't use any sort of report written on paper. So what you got,
Yeah,
chemo?
I don't stand under your.
So great. So we both
Operation
toss
Fishbowl.
out Operation Fishbowl. So where's the dome?
I've
Prove the dome.
I've just demonstrated to you. What we're waiting for now is where the
Yeah,
pressure
that's not a demonstration, bro. Like, okay, you want to go in the Operation Fishbowl, whatever. Okay, fine.
So now we know-
Spurs, I'm pretty
what's
sure
the
you-
problem?
I'm pretty
Now-
sure you
now we know
remember-
where the pressure comes
I'm
from. What's the problem?
Can I finish what I was saying, please? Thank you. Okay. So I'm pretty sure you remember what I do for a living. Why didn't the dome get in the way during all the rockets I've sent into fucking space?
Show me the rocket you've sent into space.
There's a
The
fucking
double standard
YouTube.
here.
Oh, hey. Oh, by the way, yeah, you remember when you
Chemo.
you
have to
asked for
reject-
that video? Hey, Spurs, hey, you remember when you asked for that video from inside of the Blue Origin capsule during a launch? It's on YouTube now. It
Hold on.
exists. You can go watch it.
Let's have a look.
You
This
asked
is-
for it.
This is edited
Well,
footage.
we
so
delivered
rejected.
exactly what you asked for.
Have a look at it then.
Okay, go to blueorigin.com or go to YouTube. Type in Blue Origin. Look for the search.
Operation Fishbowl, a deep dive into.
Look, and then find their channel, and it'll be a video that was posted about 3 weeks ago.
Okay, so in the meantime, where does the pressure come from? Pressure gradient. If it's not a
You know where it comes. You know where it comes from.
Yeah,
There a force
from a
acting on a
container.
fluid.
You've had this.
The pressure.
You've had
The
this
pressure
answer.
comes from a from an acceleration acting on a fluid.
What force is that?
That's all it is. You know what it is? It's the gravity.
Gravity. What is gravity?
See.
I
Then we
knew
start
that
down
was
to
going to ask
gravity.
what is
What's
gravity.
Operation Fishbowl?
Yeah, what's
the
Operation?
formula?
Yeah, what were they trying to find with Operation Fishbowl, Chemo?
Yeah, can I see unedited 4K video from beginning to end of Operation Fishbowl on YouTube? Because if I can, it doesn't exist.
Weren't they testing the
Not
effects of EMP in the upper atmosphere?
Yes, that's what they were doing.
What is gravity?
No dome
Area
mentioned
58?
at all in it, and I
No.
don't know why he's even considering this.
First, this
evidence,
has been
'cause
explained to
The
you.
video that he
You're
posted is
interrupting the
edited.
conversation, Drus. We're talking about gravity. Area
No,
51
no,
We're
said
talking about
gravity.
Operation Fishbowl. Please stop changing the subject. You're derailing.
Yeah, we're past that now. We're talking about gravity.
No, because
like
you
to get
claimed
back
you
on it.
established it was a fact, and everybody here said no, it's
No,
not.
we're not talking about
So
that.
we're
You're
back to
derailing.
Operation Fishbowl.
Can we get back into the
Yeah,
topic?
we are going to get back on the topic about Operation Fishbowl.
Yeah, I've posted the
that's your
video.
demonstration.
I've posted my
Yeah.
demonstration. Now you post your demonstration.
Yeah,
of where
so
the
hold
pressure
on. I
comes
don't see any dome in this demonstration of yours.
I see lots of
from. I
edits
don't
on
see
this
any
video, so
gravity
it's
in your
rejected.
explanation of pressure.
Yeah, so
There was-
again, I don't see any evidence of a dome in this video. I just see an explosion.
I don't see any evidence of gravity that he's describing with a gradient
Oh
that
my
gives us
God.
pressure.
So, do we have a acceleration downwards of 9.8 meters per second?
No, that's false.
Per second?
Why do you believe
Wait,
that?
no?
Where did you get that information from?
I measured it in high school.
Let's take a look.
Yeah, and I measured it in high school
Let's
and
take a look.
college.
Let's take a look at
Twice
you
and grad
measuring it in
school
high
once.
school.
Let's take a look at your
Yeah.
measurements.
I'm sorry.
Let's take a look at your measurements.
He wants to see when you did it in high school. It has to be a video, and it has to be animated.
Oh God, yeah. Let me go dig up my high school notebooks from 15 fucking years ago
Isn't
that
it
are 1,000
repeatable?
miles away. And
I thought
Houston,
science was
Texas.
repeatable. This is not repeatable.
It is repeatable,
Let's
but
see
not
it
at 4 in the
repeated
morning after. Okay,
Yeah, it is.
okay.
Who repeated it?
It is repeatable, but I'm not going to repeat it after a 15-hour shift at work at 5 and 4
Has
in the
anyone
morning.
else repeated it?
Yes,
Has anybody
thousands of
else
people.
repeated
Okay, let's take a look then.
Operation
Excellent.
Fishbowl?
That's what we're
Thousands of
talking
people
about.
all over the planet.
Fantastic. Let's see one of those repetitions.
Okay.
Sure. Okay. And
You say
he'll
the
trot
word.
that out for you. He'll trot that out for you as soon as you show your reproduction of Operation Fishbowl that you did yourself.
I didn't
Yeah.
do
By the
Operation
way-
Fishbowl myself.
You have unedited 4K video.
I didn't do it myself.
Yeah.
The military did it.
Oh,
By the way,
so you can't accept it as evidence then because
Why-
it comes from the same people who tell you the Earth is a globe.
Why do you doubt the military?
Yeah, because they tell us that the Earth is a globe, so I doubt everything they say.
Well, show
Why
me
would I
the
accept their
military
word
saying the
about-
Earth is a globe.
Why would I accept their word about Operation
It's a
Fishbowl?
wild claim again there. Where's the military saying the Earth is the globe? Show me that. Why do you
Why do I
guys
give a
lie
shit
and make
about
things up?
why the military?
Have you heard of the
yeah.
military?
So hold
branch
on.
called
Time out.
Space Force?
Time out. Time out.
Well,
We have the method.
yeah,
We have
yeah,
the
but-
we have the methodology with Operation Fishbowl that took into consideration the curvature of the Earth.
Well, where's the military
Oh,
saying
got
that
you
the
there,
Earth?
Chemo.
Where does it say
Yeah,
that?
I got you there. Yeah, in their measurements
Let's
for
take a
how
look.
high up they. Yeah, right here. So here's a link to their Wikipedia about the situation, right?
Mhm.
And right there, you'll see the curve of the Earth that they have to calculate to get their rocket to 500 miles above the air.
Mhm.
So we can go back into their methodology with Operation Fishbowl. Probably not going to do it tonight. It's almost 4. I got to go to sleep. So we can take a look at how they. We could take a look at how when they calculated that they took into consideration the curvature of the Earth. So if you're going to claim Operation Fishbowl, you have to concede the shape of the Earth.
Yeah, I can go with the curvature of the Earth. What's the radius?
What? Okay, so you're not a flat Earth anymore?
No,
Flat
we can
earther
go back
anymore?
to the globe. What's the radius?
The radius.
Oh, I don't remember off the top of my head. I don't.
We don't know how big the ball is. What do we know about the Earth?
No, we know how big the ball is. I just don't specifically remember it because it's 4 a.m. in the morning.
Does anybody know how big the ball
Radius
is?
versus circumference.
Do you not have Google?
39.59.
Yes, 39.
Kilometers, right?
Kilometers, miles, what is it?
Oh boy.
You don't seem to know anything about the ball
Miles,
area.
for fuck's sake.
I think
It's
39.59 is kilometers.
I know it's miles.
You
it's
think
miles.
it's kilometers?
I
It is
want it in
miles.
kilometers.
Miles. Don't fall
I
into
want
these
it in
little gotcha
kilometers. I don't want
questions.
it in.
He knows
I
you're
don't want
weak
it in
right now because you're
multiple.
tires, dude. You don't let him fucking take advantage of you like a fucking hyena.
Well, all we're trying to find out
That's all
is
he
how
really
big the
is.
ball is.
Well, unlike flat earthers, I'll admit when I'm wrong, and I'm actually, hey, I'm happy when I'm wrong. That
Hey,
means I
I've
don't
admitted it
get
too.
the-
You said that they said it's a ball. Okay. How big is that ball that they said it was?
Well, why don't you just Google it? You're obviously on some sort of an internet-capable device. Why the hell are we having to tell you that?
Because I have to blindly believe it. I haven't measured it myself. Obviously, you have.
Well, you can easily go do that.
How?
Well, if you can see the fact that there's a radius to it,
What is that
or that
radius?
there's a curvature to it, I mean, then you can take a Eratosthenes' experiment to do it.
But I'd have to presuppose the globe doing Eratosthenes.
No,
you
all you would
don't.
have to do is concede that there's a curve to the Earth.
I already have. I said, what is the rate at curvature?
So you could
Oh,
go
you
out and
say
do an
radius.
Eratosthenes experiment and
Hold
find
on.
out.
Am I supposed to just blindly believe what you've told me and not check and verify that it is actually
No.
a globe?
No,
You
so
can
if
just
you
go
can,
measure it.
And yet
All
you
gotta do is
expect
just go
us to
measure
take
it.
every word you say for fucking gospel, chemo.
Absolutely not, Mippet.
Hypocrite much?
Absolutely not.
Hypocrite
Don't
much?
believe a word we say. If you think you want a ball, go and measure it and show us the curvature.
1 degree.
How many
every
thousands of
6
times do we need to do that?
Once.
Sorry, whoever I interrupted.
Just do it
Sorry,
once.
whoever I interrupted.
infinite number of times, because no matter how many times you do it, they're just gonna keep having their head up their ass.
Well, look, we've just found out it's a ball on the military, but we don't know how big it is. We don't know what the radius
told you.
is. We don't know where
Yeah,
the
I told you how you
curvature
could find
is.
the radiuses. You could just repeat Eratosthenes' experiment.
That's
Fourth graders do
presupposing
it.
the ball.
No, we've just found out that it's a ball. You fucking idiot! You said it was a globe.
Yeah, we're blindly believing that it's a ball, okay.
No, you
It's
said
not
you said we just found out
Yeah.
that it's a ball.
Yeah.
Right.
But now
Right,
we're trying to
because
find
you
out how
conceded
big that
by
ball
using
is.
Operation Fishbowl.
Mhm.
Right.
Mhm.
So we know it's a ball. Now we can use Eratosthenes' experiment to figure out the radius of that ball.
Okay, what is the radius of that ball?
Oh boy, let me take a look. Or not the radius. Yeah, so you can find the circumference, but then you can extrapolate the radius, which is 39.59 meters.
So
Or not
if-
meters, miles.
Okay,
My
fine.
mistake.
So if you're a 1 foot observer, where is your geometric horizon?
My geometric horizon? Why would I need to worry about my geometric horizon?
Well, that's where the
In this
Earth
situation.
drops. That's where the visible drop is.
Yeah, why would I need to worry about my geometric horizon?
'Cause that's where things will disappear bottom
Exactly.
first for you if you're 1 foot.
No, so I don't need to worry about my
Chemo,
geometric
stop
horizon.
yanking the chain. Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
knock it off, for fuck's sake.
So the reason why we need to know the geometry is because
He's just going to ignore it.
if you're a 1 foot observer,
Yeah, well, he should be preparing for his debate next week
you-
because that's going to be really cool. Hey, chemo.
that's not
you
till
doing
next,
your research?
that's not till next week, my pet.
Yeah, he's clicked
Yeah, I
on
know,
the
but I'm just
finest
saying you should
platter
do your research.
nonsense on YouTube.
So let's get back to this ball that we know we're on. What is the radius? Where is that physical horizon? At a 1 foot observer.
You've just been told the radius twice, Spurs.
I know.
and if you
Now
don't
we're moving
wanna believe-
forward. We're on about
if
a
you
1 foot
don't-
observer. Where is your geometric horizon for 1 foot observer?
Why do you care how high the observer?
Is there a
Sorry,
geometric
man.
Depends on
horizon?
the depends on the angle of your camera, dude.
Yeah, so you're 1 foot looking straight out at the horizon.
You straight out at the horizon.
Mm-hmm.
Again, what is your angle of view?
Just a normal camera.
How far away are you looking at?
Don't you know the angle of view of a P1000? I don't. Do you?
What?
No.
I don't know. Do you know?
So we can't calculate it.
How do you know it
We
matters?
can't calculate where. You can't calculate where the line would intercept
How would angle of view determine where the physical geometric horizon is?
because that is where the drop-off point would be at the horizon. So you need to be able to angle out your field of view
Has that ever
to
been-
actually intersect.
Has that ever
Yeah. So
been-
again, right. So can you shut up for a second while I explain?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. So when you look out, you have to have an angle of view, right? In order for that angle to allow for a straight line to intercept that side of the sphere again, right?
Uh-huh.
So we don't know the angle. We can't get you a geometrical horizon.
Has that ever been done before?
Yeah,
Not by me.
By anybody?
of course it has, Spurs.
Hold on, I'm asking.
Yeah, so
I'm asking Spit and
so
Bull.
when I was in geometry, I actually calculated for things like that, like finding where a line would intercept with a circle or with a sphere. So yeah, it's possible that you can do it with math.
Has anyone done it before, though?
I mean, yeah, a lot of people have taken geometry in high school.
No. Has anyone done what you've just said to figure out where the geometric horizon is?
I mean, I don't know.
So how do you know then it can be done?
Because geometry says that we can do it.
Well, who's done it?
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't fucking know.
Snowies.
I'm not a fucking whole catalog of information on names and what they've done.
So we're just blindly believing that somebody may have done this.
No, I said I don't know if anybody's done this.
Nobody has done this. Nobody's
I've
measured to the geometric horizon.
No, Spurs.
All because I don't know. I don't.
Willebrod Snowies most certainly did. He used triangulation using the horizon. Were you born yesterday, Kimo?
Well, where's the evidence of him doing that?
It's like fucking
Why is
asking
he
50
always
kids this guy.
Well, hold on a second.
Why is he always asking
we're on
for
a ball.
stress
The
with
military
Google
say we're on a
for him?
ball, curving, flying through space. When we ask for the physical dimensions,
The
locations...
military doesn't say that, dude. The military accepts that because the public scientists, nobody related to the military, figured out that the Earth is a sphere.
What's the
Hell,
problem?
thousands of years before the United States even existed.
What's the problem here? We accept we're on a board. Now, all we've got to do is find the geometric horizon. Where is it?
Why do you care about where the hell the geometric horizon is? This is like, if you're trying to measure the radius of the Earth, this is possibly the worst fucking way you could do it.
No, it's to verify that you got your calculations correct.
Yeah, but the way this method you want to do for God knows what reason is possibly the worst way you could do it. It's got the highest margin of error.
Well,
there are a lot more accurate ways to measure the diameter, radius, circumference. Doesn't matter. It all translates into each other. There's a lot of better ways to do this. The Eratosthenes experiment, for example.
We've done Eratosthenes. We have the radius. Now we're figuring out where the horizon is geometrically. It's not there.
Who cares?
But if it's not there, if there is no geometric horizon, how are we making these calculations on a flat plane?
Wait, what?
So they're absolute. When you
did anybody follow that logic?
When you take refraction completely out of the equation, you can find a geometric horizon.
Okay.
Right? You can figure out where a straight line will intercept with the sphere.
I know.
Right.
I know. I'm asking you who has done this?
I don't know of anybody who's done it. Right. You can do the math for it.
I know.
It's not hard.
I know.
Every sailor in the 17th, 18th century has done it.
I'm not arguing about the maths. Yeah, you say the maths work, but do they comport with reality? Can we see in reality the geometric physical horizon?
No, hold on. So no, we can't do it because we can't completely take refraction out of the mix.
So you can't locate in the real world. Hold on. So in the real world, you can't locate the geometric horizon because of refraction.
That's not what he said.
What is he saying?
That's what he said.
Let's be clear.
You say doing it in practice, we're not going to be able to do it because we can't take refraction out of it and shine a straight laser at it.
I agree.
What we can do,
I agree.
What we can do.
So if we can't measure the geometric horizon, what are we measuring then? The apparent horizon?
Why do we need to worry about the horizon? If we already know the radius, then we can find the
shit about the horizons.
And then we can calculate how much it fucking drops.
Because at the horizon is where things disappear bottom first for the observer.
Okay, you can get something pretty damn close. You can get something pretty damn close to the geometric horizon,
Sure
but
you can.
Since Snell, okay, there's a thing called Snell's law, right? And Snell's law is a bitch when trying to measure the horizon on a surface that has an atmosphere.
I bet it is.
Snellius. We're talking Willebrod Snellius.
So the idea is
like, if you wanted to measure,
I hear what you're saying, Aria. We can't see it.
If you wanted to measure the geometric, horizon while standing on the moon, it would be a hell of a lot easier.
Of course, because we can see that it's round. But the Earth, we can't see that it's round. We can't see the geometric horizon.
We can. You've been, and I know for a fact you've been shown evidence after evidence after evidence for this shit, dude.
Of the geometric
Like
horizon.
I've listened to pretty much every one of your debates with Red's Rhetoric, Sly Sparkane, Jared, fucking Fight the Flat Earth. I've heard all your shit, and you can't make the claim that we can't measure it or take a picture of it because you've been shown measurements and pictures of it.
Yeah, but back then, with those debates, we didn't know that the horizon wasn't physical. Now we do.
Oh no, yeah, we did. The flat earthers didn't.
Well, if you'd told us then,
in the case of Red's Rhetoric's images, the actual geometric horizon versus the apparent horizon didn't make a fuck bit of difference because it was the horizon with reference to the object sailing away from him being that big container ship was the point he was trying to make. So if it was the geometric horizon, if it was the apparent horizon, it didn't matter. The point was the farther the ship went away, the less of the bottom of that ship you could see. While Red's Rhetoric from the observation point was remaining fixed. So it didn't make a bit of difference which horizon you were looking at.
But again, that's the problem. Those horizons are not geometrical.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The point, you're using the horizon as a datum, as a point of reference because it's fixed. During the course of a short period of time, a relatively short period of time, the 2 or 3 hours he was probably taking these pictures, the horizon's going to be remain fixed. The only thing that's not remaining fixed is the boat sailing away from you, in which case the horizon was blocking more and more of that ship until all you could see was the bridge.
Again, I'm more concerned with reality and the physicality of reality. Now, if you're saying, which I agree, and Spitting Dog also agrees, that we cannot see ever metric horizon because of refraction in the atmosphere. Because if we remove the atmosphere, we see it, but if we have the atmosphere, we can never see it. So, what that tells us...
But it makes no difference. The point I'm trying to make is it makes absolutely no difference to, at the very least, Red's Rhetoric's experiment. Geometric horizon, it makes no difference.
Yeah, but what I'm
it doesn't
saying
make a
is
fuck bit of difference.
Any obstruction that we see, not geometrical obstruction. So, for example, when you
it is geometrical obstruction that you're missing. You're missing what's going on here. It's not that there isn't a physical object blocking our side of view from the bottom of that ship. It's not that that's not happening no matter what refraction's going on. It is still happening, but it is still happening. There is still a physical obstruction. It's just how much of that physical obstruction is going to be hiding the bottom of that boat depending on the refraction that's currently going on at the time.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I get it. You're trying to get your head around the reality of the world, and yeah, the obstruction of any mountain, the sun. So when you see the sun, half of the sun missing,
dude, we're talking about water and a ship going over the horizon right now.
It doesn't matter what it is.
Can we close out on that? Can we close out on a point before we start into another one, please?
It can be any object beyond the horizon. Any object. Obstruction is not physical. Any object.
Okay, how do you know that?
Good question. Let me tell you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and so whatever you're about to show me is going to be exclusively concordant with whatever mysticism you're about to present and not a physical obstruction.
So you see
whatever you're about to show me couldn't be explained by both. Because if it can, then there's no point in showing it to me. Because evidence, by definition, is something that's exclusively concordant with one position over any other. So go.
But you asked about this, where is the obstruction that's not physical? Take a look at this image here. Take a real good look.
Dude, I'm not looking at the freaking Black Swan thing. This has been debunked 18,000 times.
Huh? How? Huh?
Well, I know at least. I know at
Check
least.
your mates, chemo. You know who's tried to do it, and it's bullshit.
Huh? You debunked the
You
Black
know
Swan?
it is.
When did you do that, 85?
Yes. Everybody.
Everybody.
No,
know
Mitt.
it. Yeah,
Dude,
you're just lying now. Barefaced.
Yeah,
Anyway,
Spurs,
area.
you've been involved in hangouts demonstrating and showing you why this quote unquote Black Swan image is bullshit.
All right, explain it to me.
What?
No, go
What
back
can I
and
say that
listen
hasn't
to
already
what's
been told to you?
recorded, asshole.
Can't you
Stop
just be
feeding the
honest and say, I
troll.
can't?
Don't yeah.
I can't
Just
explain it.
don't
I don't understand.
ignore him. Just ignore him.
How about you answer my original question that I had when I came in here, Spurs?
Which is what?
Chemo doesn't do answers.
Ah, yes.
What's the question?
So I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to remember exactly how I worded it. So how? Ah, crap. Are you still there?
Yeah, take your time. No rush.
Okay.
Got all the
Sorry,
time in the world.
let me get my Discord back up here.
I'm with you. I'll walk with you.
So how are they gonna hide that the fact that the Earth is flat, given that Blue Origin is about to start sending passengers into space? Anybody that can pay the ticket.
I did ask you. I did answer you. I said if they're able to defy the second law of thermodynamics, then you will rock the flat Earth world.
How are they defying the second law of thermodynamics with this flight and not the past 15 flights that we've done that are following the same trajectory?
Well,
this isn't the first time Blue Origin's ever launched a rocket. You do know that, right?
Well, you're saying they're sending people into space now, right?
Yeah, in 3 weeks.
Yeah. So if we see a blog of someone going into an area that defies the second law of thermodynamics, then yeah, like I said, you will rock the entire flat Earth world.
Oh, so it has to be a person recording it with a cell phone?
How are they going to verify
the cell phone was,
You've already just said we don't. You've already just said we don't.
Well,
you've already just said we don't.
If the cell phone was, say, mounted on a 3D printed bracket, hooked up to an external power supply, and recording by its own outside the window, how is that different than a person holding it?
You're saying the public are now going, yeah, regular people.
Yeah, in 3 weeks.
Has that happened
in
before?
3 weeks? No.
No, that's what I'm saying. So before, it was just the companies deceiving us. Now you're saying regular people.
No, they're not deceiving.
Now you're saying
not
regular
deceiving
people.
anybody. I was there. I've personally not only witnessed 5 Blue Origin New Shepard launches, but as part of my job is to test the engines that go on those rockets before they get put on the rockets. That's part of my job description.
No doubt. I'm not doubting any of that. What's the doubt is you'll say that they're going into an area that we know is scientifically impossible.
It's not. You just don't understand science.
What do I need to
That's
understand?
the problem.
He doesn't understand anything. He's a fuckwit.
Well, I think he should,
for example,
claim that it's impossible
how do you have
to go there because obviously he's tested it.
Yeah.
How do you have?
Yeah, I mean,
how do you have?
You know it's impossible.
How do you have?
Wait, what? You talking to me?
Does he know it's impossible?
No, he's talking to Chemo. Chemo says it's impossible, but he's got no way of demonstrating
like
it.
a child. Come on, Chemo. How's it impossible? Show
Chemo
us.
just makes baseless
We want you
assertions.
to show us evidence to your standard that it is impossible to go into this area. We haven't seen anything from you. We've seen ropily edited videos.
What is this
We've seen
area?
documents. I don't want that. I want real evidence, Chemo, like you do.
What is
Where
this
is this real evidence that this is impossible? Give us your best shot.
What is this area you speak?
Give us this best shot, Chemo.
Area. What is the area you speak?
Come on, Chemo. Give us your best shot.
There's a video on Blue Origin's channel of us doing it.
Yes, I know. I said before.
There's an uncut video uncut, completely uncut video on Blue Orchid channel of us doing it.
How long?
And
is
I
it
know
on
it's
for?
uncut.
How long?
I know it's uncut because I have the raw file on my computer.
How long is it on for?
How long was what on for?
What's the duration of that video?
You got to know the duration of the video.
It's something like 20. It's like 22 minutes or something.
Excellent. Let's take a look at that.
Okay, go to Blue Origin's YouTube channel and look for a video that was posted about 3 weeks back.
Probably will do, but not just yet.
Oh, come on. He needs the hits, man. That's why he's sending you to his channel.
So the idea is that, yeah, if these people are able to defy science, then yeah, like I said, you'll rock the entire flat.
Well, they're not defying science, Timo, because you haven't demonstrated that they are. We've seen no evidence that meets your standard that it's impossible to go into this area that you want me to define, but you're the one saying that it's impossible to go there, so I don't know why you're asking me to define it. That sounded weird. So, Timo, give us this evidence that it's impossible to go there. Come on.
Go where?
Oh, and by the way, if you're going to bring up the second law of thermodynamics thing, it can't violate the second law of thermodynamics if the reason you think it violates the thermodynamics doesn't actually involve thermodynamics. Well, because I know where you're going with this.
There's a number of scientific experiments that you would defy.
Well, let's see them.
If you were able to go to a place that we have no evidence for.
Like what? Yeah, we have evidence for it. We've been there. I was trying to tell you, I've recorded shit in space, or at least I assisted in setting up the damn cameras.
All right, let's take a look at that.
Well, I want
it's on Blue Origin.
It's impossible to go there. It's still your claim, Chemo. Why are you dodging it?
I'd like to
I've told you where it is, Chemo. I've told you where it is twice now. Okay. You want to watch it? Go watch it.
All right. Probably will later on, but not right now, unless you provide...
Right now we're concentrating on Chemo's claim that it's impossible to go to space and we have no evidence there, and I want to see his evidence for this.
Space? What is space?
He's making these wild claims. It's the area you defined that it was impossible to send rockets into and that all the information from that particular area is fake. You're the one making the claim, Chemo. Stop asking me questions and provide your evidence.
What, you've been to this area?
Do you have any evidence?
Have you been to this area?
Do you have any evidence? You're asking me questions. I want to see your evidence. Come on.
I'm trying to understand this area you're talking about.
No. You're the one making the claim that it's impossible to go there. So provide
your evidence. Where?
I don't know, Chemo. You're the one that's defining it. Show us the evidence.
Yeah, I said it's impossible for you to go to the moon right now.
No, you said it's impossible for us to send rockets into space and we have no evidence for it.
Space? What is space?
And I want you to show me why you believe this. Where is the evidence that has drawn you to this conclusion? Now stop asking me questions and provide the evidence.
What do you mean by space?
If you can't, I'm happy with
space.
that.
I'm trying to clarify your question. What do you mean by space?
Well, again, stop asking me questions.
Well, I can't answer your question unless I know what you're talking about.
It's impossible to go there. If you can't define where there is, then we can
I
just
said the
ignore
moon.
You.
It's impossible for you to go to the moon.
Can't prove that it's impossible to send things into space, that area above our atmosphere, which he keeps claiming. He wants to now go back to stupid questions asking me what the definition of these things are, rather than actually satisfying his burden of truth. So let's move
Either answer the question
and we'll
or let's
just
move
ignore
forward.
Chemo's lies. Carry on, Chemo.
Okay. There'll be no none of that. Okay, we're here for a conversation. I'm not here to ignore people, Druss. I asked you a question. You could have responded. Instead you chose to monologue. Well, it had nothing to do
and
with
yet we
conversation.
ask you questions and you never answer them.
Because if I don't understand that, if I don't understand the question,
never answered a question put to you.
If I don't understand the question and I ask for clarity, and I'm like, "What is space? What do you mean by that?" You'd either say I don't know, or go to explain what it is.
You've never explained anything in your fucking life. Now unmute him.
Ronadon, thank you for posting it. I appreciate it.
Oh, we've got this here.
Van played on.
I will do after the 2 minutes.
Do it now. Do it now.
After his 2 minutes.
Well, I don't even know why you muted him. He did nothing more than what you fucking do.
No, we were talking about space, and then he's saying doesn't want to talk about space.
You're talking bollocks
I can't
about
remember what he was
space
talking
because you
about.
have
That was the
no
whole point.
understanding whatsoever.
Okay, so what's the timestamp? Do we start from the beginning of this video? 11 minutes
Tell you
long.
what, Kimo, why don't you just go and fuck yourself?
11-minute video.
You're just a piece of human garbage.
This
Really is a win for you, Kimo, when you look like a winner. Do that. You've got to be a loser to do that because that's the only way you can win. So you're obviously a fucking loser. Well lost. Good on you.
How
Level
can we
playing field and you get
lose
your ass whipped.
when we don't make claims like you guys are doing?
Yes, you do. You've been making claims all morning.
Like what?
Well, for a start, you've claimed that
You're a
space
fucking
violates
loser.
the second law of thermodynamics. That's a claim.
Okay,
You
so
don't
we're
know what the
watching
second
Blue
law of
Origin.
thermodynamics is. You don't actually know what you're talking about, yet you keep making claims. You claimed that Operation Fishbowl was exploding things against the dome. That's a claim. You've got no evidence of that. Everything you've stated today has been a claim with no evidence whatsoever. You do it every fucking day.
Right, you've just posted a video of your Blue Origin, and at 25 seconds, they cut the camera. What's that all about?
What are you talking about?
What are you
25
on
seconds.
about?
So I'm watching it, and then like he's in the capsule, and then they cut outside the capsule.
Just watch it, Chemo, and let us know when you finished,
I've
rather
already
than
watched. I've watched
narrate
25
it,
seconds, and
please.
they cut. How can we watch when they cut the camera?
Just fucking watch the video.
Okay, Chemo, do you think I'm a liar?
No, I'm asking why did they cut the camera?
Okay,
you said.
No, I'm asking you very clear. Do you think I am a liar?
I think you've been heavily deceived, not a liar.
Okay. Do you? Okay. Well. Okay. So, I guess I haven't watched this version of it.
Mm-hmm. I am,
but I
watching it
have
right
the
now.
raw. Okay. I'm gonna directly off of the cell phone that this was taken on my computer, on my work computer. I've seen this whole thing uncut. It doesn't actually make any difference that it's cut on their YouTube channel.
Well, go on and let's have a look at the uncut version of it.
Yeah, and get myself fired. Let me just go ahead and do that, Spurs.
How are you going to
Can you
get
show
fired?
me the uncut version of the Operation Fishbowl video that you presented earlier?
How are you going to get fired for showing a video of the Earth?
Every file that is released from Blue Origin to the public has to go through the proper channels, ITAR and everything else before it's allowed to be released.
Exactly. Why do you think that is the case? Use your brain.
Okay, would you like to know? Would you like to know why that's the case? Because I can very easily explain it to you. Would you actually want to know?
I do want to know. Yeah. Why don't they release the real footage immediately?
I understand the question. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so do you know what the difference between a rocket and an intercontinental ballistic missile is?
No.
The payload.
Okay.
That's it. That's it. Any rocket capable of sending a human being into space is also capable of acting as a nuclear launch platform, which means my company is under ITAR protection. It's a security, like United States government security release forms and all that bullshit. So that's because we don't want companies like North Korea getting our designs, getting hands on our designs so they could launch missiles at us.
But you have a defense system.
And it's not foolproof.
What, you think?
No defense system is.
I don't get it. So you think the Koreans would look at your rocket and use that to fire at America?
Yeah, very possible.
But they have a...
That's the reason. That is the reason why.
That's not how war works.
That is the reason. It is how war works.
That's not how war works.
Yeah, it is. How do you think NASA got started? How do you think NASA got started originally, man? When we won World War II, the United States went and raided all of the V2 rocket documents sitting in Germany. That's how the United States space program began. We stole it from the Germans after World War II. That is how the world works.
No, that's not how the war works. War works.
What? What do you mean? It's not how it works.
To explain.
The only thing keeping North Korea from bombing the shit out of everybody that pisses them off is a capable launch platform.
No,
Blue Origin has a capable launch platform.
That's not how war works.
That we don't want them getting. In what way is that not how war works?
Symmetrical warfare, by the way. That'd be
let's get back to the science. The idea
we'll run away from that question.
The idea that you think there's gravity holding the atmosphere down.
Well, can you prove there isn't? There's three different experiments that show gravity exists that all also solve for the same value. 3 completely different experiments come up with the same result.
Name them.
Fuck, I can't remember the name of the second 2. I can get them for you here in a second. Okay, I can describe them to you. So the first experiment, Cavendish, you've been told that 1,000 times. The second experiment involves basically 2 known masses, generally very heavy. You have one hanging above a scale, and you have a smaller one sitting on a scale. You move the scale underneath the very large, dense mass and measure the weight. And there's actually going to be a gravitational force between the big mass hanging above the scale and the small mass sitting on the scale. And the weight measured on the scale actually decreases because of the gravitational force, the gravitational attraction between these 2 objects.
How do you know it wasn't?
That was an experiment.
How do you know it wasn't magnetism?
Well, it was lead. These objects were made out of lead, first of all.
So lead attracts lead.
No, there was no such thing. There's no such thing as fucking plumbium or whatever the plumbium magnetism.
I'm just wondering.
There is stuff called ferromagnetic, but you need steel for that.
You saw movement in this Cavendish, but how do you know what the cause of
that wasn't Cavendish.
No, any of the objects where that
move,
any masses that move together in those experiments, how do you know it wasn't magnetism?
Because they all give the same results independent of what objects are used.
How do you know it wasn't electricity?
No such thing as magic.
Yeah, magic doesn't exist, Spurs.
Magnetism. Same magic.
Okay, and then I'll say my response again. These experiments have been repeated with different materials used and all gotten the same results.
That's good. So we counted for electricity and magnetism. What about
electricity? Can't act it like unless electricity is set up as an electromagnet. Unless you build a device that uses electricity to create magnetism, electricity in and of itself is not going to impose a force on another object.
Okay, that's good. What about atmosphere and the moving air? Will that cause the objects to move?
Yes, but not predictably. You're not going to get a consistent measurement, a consistent delta. You're not going to get a consistent weight reduction on that experiment I just talked about with air currents. That's just not going to happen. Plus, that same experiment I talked about, even though it was originally done in atmosphere, has also been done in a vacuum chamber. Several thousand times.
Oh, now you're talking.
Yeah, go look it up, Spurs. You've been showing it before.
You know, I'm willing to give up. I'm willing to.
Chemo, if you rub a balloon on your head, what keeps it stuck to the wall then?
That's static electricity. But you're saying it's been done in a vacuum. Now, I'm ready to give up flat Earth, and I'm sure everyone else will give up the flat Earth.
Prove it. Prove that you're willing to give up flat Earth, Chemo. Where's the evidence of that?
As long as we have the science area 85.
The science is there. You've just got to be willing to put forth the years of effort that I did to properly understand it.
I hear what you're saying, yeah. But you've just said...
But the thing is you've got to actually do that. And the last time I checked, you didn't know what a hypotenuse was. So you've got a pretty steep learning curve to go here, man.
But we're talking about your claim. of objects moving.
Right,
in
but
a
you need to be able to understand these experiments before claiming they're wrong. And you don't understand these experiments.
But where is the observation of these experiments?
I just gave you 2 of them.
No, you said there were observations, but where are
I
they?
have posted an observation of that kind of experiment. It's in the debate chat.
What's the name of that experiment, by the way? I can never remember the name of it.
Me neither, but I have found it on the internet and I remember it from the school.
Copy that. Thank you very much.
What's the timestamp of the vacuum?
What vacuum, Kimo?
He
Stop
said
being
it's been done
deluded.
in a vacuum. We're looking for the one done in a vacuum.
It doesn't necessarily mean the one he posted
Or
is
what?
in a vacuum. It's not necessary to do the experiment in a vacuum.
No, I know.
You can do it.
But you said it was.
You can do it
so
in
what-
atmosphere.
Yeah, but the atmosphere will cause it to move.
Not if the atmosphere is not moving.
How can you
Okay,
stop-
can you provide me please the formula who's gonna move the lead in the atmosphere?
How do you stop
By
the atmosphere from
electrostatic,
moving?
electromagnetic, whatever you want. No, Kimo, I want the formula, please.
How do you stop the atmosphere from moving?
No, I want the formula, please.
We can get to the equations. How we figure
No,
out.
no, Kimo, you're ludicrous again. So we need something to calculate to see if it's real that is gonna move something.
First, we need to see the experiment.
Yes, it's put it on the debate chat.
No, not in a vacuum. That wasn't.
So what?
So we know the
Who
cause.
cares?
We know the cause of the effect.
So tell me the cause of the effect.
Told you in the air.
And how you get at the conclusion? Because it's the air.
He got at the conclusion because his conclusion because the actual conclusion disagrees with his interpretation of his holy book.
Yeah. So what's the conclusion? What it have air that is gonna affect the lead to increasing the mass,
The air is constantly moving.
and
right?
it's increasing the mass of the lead.
No, it's going to cause a pressure, a push, a press, and then
A press over something that is moved underneath it.
Well, of course, if it's going to rush, the air moves underneath it. Duh.
Did you see what I have been posted, Kimo?
Yes, you showed a big silver ball, a couple of numbers on the old.
No, it's not
old
silver. It's
computer.
lead.
Well, whatever.
Lead with lead.
Whatever, shiny ball.
Whatever. No, it's not whatever.
It's a shiny ball with a couple of numbers, with a machine, the man moving his hand around, moving the air, causing it to move. So what?
So if the man is moving something.
He's moving his
in
hand
the area.
around the room. He's causing the air to move around.
Oh, so
Yeah.
how you gonna calculate the pressure of the air that is gonna affect it, that thing to get the weight?
I'm not.
So you
are.
have a claim without something to back it up. So
you would do the calculations. We'll leave the calculations for the nerds. and
No,
we
no, no,
practical
no.
men
You
will
have
do
to
the real
calculations to prove
demonstrations
this.
in the real world.
No. You have to prove it.
No, leave the handiwork to the men, and you guys can figure out the numbers later on after we've done the experiments.
I'm so sorry, Kimo. If you claim something, you have to prove it. So I need your proof from the claim.
I just told you. Once
No.
we have the practical experiment,
Telling me is nothing. I need a video, uncut video with the proof, because the air is gonna change the mass of the lead. I need an uncut
just
video with
posted it.
calculations with everything.
you just posted it. You just posted it.
No, mate. No. It's not the air. In my point of view, it's not the air. Prove me wrong.
Not air.
No.
Well, it's magic.
No, it's gravity.
Demonstrate gravity in a vacuum.
Spurs. In order for the air to be causing the effect that's seen in that experiment, the air would have to be blowing from the bottom.
Right.
Right, and it would have to be consistent. Little gusts don't matter.
Okay.
Like, because you can gather the data, you can gather the data over a period of time and do what's called a trend line. A trend line fit to help get rid of the errors, or at least see where the errors are.
Right.
The outliers, sorry.
Yeah, but
yeah. So this air thing, unless you literally had like a hair dryer or something blowing directly underneath that sphere, which I don't know how the hell you're going to do that, because the scales like the plate you stick the object on for the scale is, you know, kind of completely in the fucking way. This air thing doesn't work.
Well, all you gotta do is just waft your hand around, and that will cause.
No, because because wafting your hand around would apply a downward force or a lateral force, you know, horizontal force. It's not going to provide an upward force.
It's gonna cause the air to move around.
Sure, but
everywhere.
it's not gonna put a upward force on that sphere. It's either gonna be down or pretty much or laterally.
All it's got to do is kiss the bottom of the ball, and it will move.
But how's it going to get to the bottom of the ball if it's sitting on a plate?
Because.
Oh, and by the way, do you know how to calculate the drag force?
Because let's say the air goes over that.
Object?
If the air goes over that plate, it will bring the plate up as it moves past.
Why would air going over that plate bring the plate up? Unless it was blowing from underneath. Or that plane was shaped like, or that plate was shaped like an aerofoil, which it wasn't. I can guarantee you that.
Well, either way, it doesn't work in a vacuum. That's the most important thing.
It does work in a vacuum.
Prove it.
So everything we're talking about right now is a moot point anyway.
Everything you're talking about cannot be proven today.
Yes. What do you mean? It's done all over the world, every day, every year,
well,
at universities all over the planet.
Let's see gravity working in a vacuum.
Okay. Google it then.
Google it.
Like all you got to do is get on Google.
So let's make a deal. Like, if you can't find an observation of gravity in a vacuum, you're going to give it up, yeah?
What? Why do I?
No.
Are you going to give up this globe nonsense?
No, he said nothing of the sort, Chemo. Stop it.
You said Google it, right? So if you Google it, and
go
you
Google
can't
it
find...
yourself. Don't be a lazy
asshole.
No, you don't have to Google it.
Why do I have to Google? Why do I have to do your homework for you? I just got off of a 15-hour shift. I just got off of a 15-hour shift at work, man. You can Google it.
Let's listen to what
you know how to spell, right?
You said.
I mean, there's got to be a reason why you're absolutely refusing to get on Google right now.
You said
There's
gravity
gotta be some
works in a
reason.
vacuum. You've seen it working in a vacuum.
Yeah. We've the site I work at. One of the sites I work at has a giant vacuum chamber I could drive my truck into. Yeah. Yes, I've seen gravity in a vacuum.
Okay, so you said Google it, and I said if we Google it and then we can't find gravity in a vacuum, will you give up your globe nonsense?
No, because I've seen the globe. I've seen the damn thing. Using a vehicle I helped design and test.
When did you see the globe?
I told you. I've sent I'm an engineer that works on a rocket launch site, and I send shit into space. I've seen video of the damn
but then you
planet
said you're not allowed to
from a
show
rocket
it,
I
remember?
helped
It's
build,
classified.
man.
You said because of the Germans might figure out the rockets and bomb you.
The design.
You're afraid to release
What
the
I was.
You're afraid to release
What
the
I was
uncut
saying
footage
was.
because of the
What
enemy.
I was saying was is I can't just send out the raw footage
because of the Germans.
of that. Because
Stop
of the Germans.
deflecting,
No, because
Chemo.
it's
That's
because
all
of
you're doing.
ITAR.
Whoever the enemy is, that you can't do it because the enemy is watching.
I could get you the raw footage. If you really want that, I can get it to you, but I have to get it approved through ITAR before I do that.
Yeah, so what address do we send it to, Chemo?
That's amazing, that is.
Kimo, do you understand the exchange of information on public domain?
Oh, we can't. The code's got to be careful. The enemy could be here.
Kimo, for real, do you understand the information over the public domain?
We've got to be careful what we say to you now, Decodus.
Yes, I'm careful because
we don't want our secrets.
Razor is recording me. Yes, who give a fuck?
That's why you keep asking questions, right? You're trying to get our secrets, yeah?
Yeah. Quantum Reason is recording me, and I don't give a fuck. Okay, what else do you want to know?
No, you're
Kimo,
not having
you cannot exchange information on public domain.
I think you said too much, Area 85, actually, already.
What?
No, Kimo.
I think you said too much.
You are again a ludicrous, Kimo. You are again defending something that does not exist with, I don't know, logical tools, but nothing conclusive. Again, you are in a delusional way of living.
Well, I'm worried about the next war and the enemy stealing our plans and blowing us up.
No, that's why I'm.
That is a real concern. We've just heard it here from a rocket man.
Oh
There
my
was
God, that is not
you're
what
a
I
fucking
said.
idiot.
There was a
Kimo.
real concern that if our secrets are
That is
released,
not what I said.
you just said in case the enemy figures out our rocket.
Yeah, well, Great Britain is an enemy to them too, isn't it? They're not going to flash you the fucking plans either, Kimo. So how about you just keep your fucking mouth shut and actually listen and answer one question? You know me, any question, just answer a question.
We fund
Please.
America. The Queen oversees America. Nothing happens in America without our say-so.
What?
No, you don't like
the Queen
that.
hasn't
You don't wanna
overseen America in a couple centuries, Chemo.
But again, nothing
you realize that, right?
Nothing happens in America unless we say so.
Your
Oh,
delusions.
really?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So I suppose the Boston Tea Party was the Queen's
Anyway,
idea.
let's not get into the politics of it all. The point is that we can't release secrets.
Politics of it all, bro.
There are secrets that we can't reveal in case the enemy destroys us, right? What a load of nonsense. Why do you think they can't release the video?
It's a load of nonsense?
Yes.
It's a load of nonsense?
That we have a threat because someone might steal our rocket plans and blow us up.
It's not so much the rocket. It's not so much the rocket
I'm so
itself,
afraid
it's the
that
engine
we don't have the
technology.
defense system to take out a missile that we built in the first place, and we don't have the solution how to stop it. Hello? We built the thing. Who cares if they get
Okay,
our...
we built. Yeah, I mean, the United States also makes a 50 caliber. It also makes a 50 caliber machine
Welcome,
gun.
Brian.
It doesn't mean that we have body armor that shit won't go straight through. Like,
no.
what kind of nonsense is that?
Oh no, can't release the plans because there's going to be a war. I mean, Brian, did you hear that? If that's not the biggest...
There's not going to be a war. That's not at all what I was trying to say.
That's not the biggest load of
Holy
nonsense
shit.
to hide the shape of the earth.
Can somebody sane paraphrase what I was trying to tell this guy?
Show.
You're a fucking idiot. There you go.
The uncut raw footage of the earth.
That was pretty good paraphrasing. Thank you.
Not the cut.
I thought it was really good.
All you have is cuts, cuts.
Grade A, seriously.
Anyway,
Who's
Brian,
going to war?
how we going? How's it going?
Who the fuck's going to war?
He's saying that he can't release the
nobody.
uncut footage of a rocket going into space because the enemy might steal the designs and then destroy us with our own designs.
I told you
I was
earlier.
no.
I thought the U.S. and China were about to go into war. I remember Grim telling me that yesterday. They're massing on the Canadian border.
I didn't.
And
Just for the record, I did not say
turned
that.
away.
Oh,
No, I know you
all
didn't. I said Grim.
Gotta be
I
careful,
said Grim.
guys.
Grim got a good, reliable source telling him that the Chinese military was.
Oh, first world, afraid of second world China. Oh, ooh, afraid.
They're all actors, Chemo.
I
Take
know.
the fucking notes to them.
We're in the first
Probably never
world,
built
guys.
fuck all in their lives. They're just lying, deceiving bastards.
Well, it seems so, Brian, because why would you say I can't release the uncut footage where the camera's looking at the Earth, not the rocket, for a start? We're not looking at the rocket. And besides, he's already shown the rocket with different cuts, so he's shown different angles of the rocket already. I mean, what a fool. Why would you show that angle, then that angle, then that angle? You've given the whole design.
If you shut up, I could explain it to you. If you shut up, I can explain it to you again.
I wasn't even finished. You would just have one angle looking
this.
at the Earth. Because you've been talking to me the whole
I'll see if
entire
I can
time.
paraphrase
Let me
this.
speak. You're
I'll see if
fully
I can
muting me.
paraphrase this in a
Brian,
method.
you'd have a go.
I'll see if I can paraphrase this in a way that maybe you can understand. I'm not saying that an aggressive foreign country could take a video, the uncut video of the last New Shepard launch, and use it to build a fucking rocket. What I am saying is that over-encompassing document control of Blue Origin controlled by ITAR, I can't just give you something until it goes through the proper channels. I can get you the uncut footage, but it has to be reviewed and approved first. If you actually need me to do that, I can do that. Now, on the other hand, if you wanted me to give you the blueprints and the CAD model to the BE3PM engine, I can't do that. That would get me arrested. Is this a little bit more clear for you?
And it's about the security of your job again in the game of something that it's, I don't know, a discussion over something that it's irrelevant anyway. It's not the point to risk something, a job or a career for a stupid idiot who's spreading wrong information over the
Because Chemo
internet.
doesn't have a job or career, so he doesn't know what they are. Oops, did I say that out loud?
I didn't hear shit.
Good.
But it was a very good point.
How it will be to take all the data that I have that I'm working at work, because I'm processing data during the nights, and to take them here to prove them some evidences. I have to be a dumbass to do something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, like a few months ago, I was talking to Spurs, and he actually thought that it was possible for me to strap a GoPro to the outside of the new Shepherd before the next launch, so he can see a video from the outside of the rocket. He actually thought I could actually pull something like that off. Like he harped on it for like an hour and a half.
Mate, I'm quite new in this game. I have discovered Flat Earth only for 3 months, 4 months ago. I have heard about it, but never involved in it. But this guy, from what I have been hearing, it's on this, I don't know, job. I don't know how to call it, because it's not a phenomenon. It's something that it's a conspiracy. Yeah, let's say it's a conspiracy. It's from 7 years, mate, and he didn't have a clue how to calculate things to have a proof of something.
Well,
how to make an experiment valid for everybody to see. Okay, so there is the DOM. I have experimented. I have inputted. I have the claim. I have the calculations. I have everything. So he's just sitting in the chair and is, I don't know what he have on his back, but only shitty things.
I think to me it just shows how little Chemo understands of the real world if he expected you to be able to slap a camera on the outside of a rocket. You know, it just shows that he doesn't understand what it's like to work for a decent sized company. He doesn't understand that there are processes involved. You know, that things don't happen without reason. And these things are carefully controlled because it's about weight and cost.
Weight, cost, aerodynamics, velocities, so a lot of things that have to be calculated there just to put a camera on a device that is going for a velocity to escape the gravitational Earth. So it's not something that is you have to put 20 cameras there because a flat earther he wants.